We're saying there about Errina Bridge, and there's a plaque that we'll have to try and uncover. Take the ivy off and have a look. Tell us a bit about the bridge and about the Errina Canal.
Well, the only way I can tell you about the Errina Canal is by reciting my own bit of poetry.
Right,
because
lovely.
That gives the whole story. And the Errina Canal, we say, would be from Errina Lock. We always call it Madden's Lock.
Right.
And then up as far as Drumeen, you know, up as far as the head of the canal. But my poem, like was, is about the old canal. I saw it live and I saw it die. The track from Errina Bridge to the Shannon from Errina Lock to the Shannon at Drumeen. The track bank and canal was nice and clean. The canal was full of fish, perch, eels, rudd and bream, and the biggest pike I've ever seen.
I got it.
Tom Galvin coppened at Errina Bridge, just inside Madden's Gate. This was a pike. He weighed in pounds 28. I never saw one that size before, till his brother Seamus, in the very same spot, landed one of 34. That was in the good old time of 1949. I saw the last horse-drawn barge come from town. The horse was owned by James E. Brown. On under Errina Bridge, between steep banks, not as fast as the fox or the eclipse flower from ranks. To see that last barge for me was an honour, with barrels of porter for John Ryan and Paddy Bonner. The old canal, the track bank and canal, from bank to bank, is filled with weeds and rushes and bushes green and rank. And down that lane of living green march memories of what had been. The coloured barges came from town, and busy life flowed up and down. But there is nothing left to show where those old barges used to go. Time is always marching on. The old canal is dead and gone. But still I seem to hear it say, I too was progress yesterday. The old canal, where oft I saw the colourful kingfisher flashing by, but now all it holds is mosquitoes and dragonflies. End of story.
This is Peter, that's beautiful.
Goodbye, canal. Old canal, goodbye.
It's lovely. It's lovely, PJ.
Well, it gives a history.
It does.
You know, now the Fox was a motorboat owned by the Board of Works. And my father worked on that before he got married. And the Eclipse Flower was Rank's big boat. It would take something like 60 to 80 tons. It could be bringing wheat down from up the country and bringing flour back up, you know. But there were two steamboats that were going up and down that canal. So it wasn't all horse-drawn barges.
Right. So how many types of boats, PJ? And you had names of boats, different types of boats, I mean.
There was different boats, but they would be on the head race.
Right.
They wouldn't be on the old canal.
All right.
Because there was two boats that they bought off of Britain. One was called the Avon King and the other was called the Avon Queen. And afterwards, when the Irish government bought them, they called them the St. Patrick and the St. James.
And they were on the old canal?
They were on the new canal.
Oh, sorry.
And one of them would take 60 tons and the other used to take 80 tons. But the smaller one was, that you take the smaller load, was the St. James, because it was a tugboat. I often saw 6 and 7 boats pulled in above O'Brien's Bridge beside the quarry. When there'd be a flood down, it wouldn't be able to go through. The small Grand Canal boats wouldn't be able to go through. The strength of the water coming there, the narrow gap, the quarry at O'Brien's Bridge.
Right.
The strength of the water, they weren't able to go against it, and they used to come back and lie in along with the concrete.
I get you.
And I saw the St. James coming along and tying on 6 of them and towing the whole 6 of them. And of course it was the St. James that was towing the M45 the day it sank.
All right.
You know.
And tell me, PJ, on the old canal now, there was horse-drawn barges, right?
That's why I said the colour barges came from town. I couldn't say the horse-drawn barges because there were steamboats as well.
Right, so there was two types of boats.
There was the steamboats and the horse-drawn.
And did the steamboats go all the ways down to Limerick?
Oh, the steamboats went all the ways. Ranks one. It was owned by Ranks. Ranks, the Eclipse Flower, it was called. But it was F-L-O-W-E-R. It wasn't F-L-O-W-E-R.
Yeah.
You know, it was called Eclipse Flower. And it came down and through Errina Crusher. It used to come down the old canal. But then afterwards, when it came through Errina Crusher, it used to dock there at the Artnunker Boat Club.
Right.
They had a key there, they're still there.
Right.
And used to pull in there, and all the horses from Ranks, big Clydesdales, would come down with their loads and put them onto the boat, you know,
Jesus.
onto the Eclipse. But the Fox was a maintenance boat. My father worked on the Fox. It was a maintenance boat. It was belonged to the Board of Works. Their job was going around inspecting the locks and inspecting the buoys across the lakes, that they didn't get shifted by a storm or anything, that a boat would run aground or anything in the lake.
I get you. And were the turf boats gone at that stage, Peter?
Turf boats be gone at that stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm able to only trace them back
I know.
to when I was born in
I get you.
1927.
It is a great story, though.
But Jamesy Brown was the colour barges came from town. The horse was drawn by Jamesy Brown. The horse was owned by Jamesy Brown. He supplied the horses that walked from Limerick to Killaloe. And then, of course, the boats would cross, they'd be towed across by the steamboats, or they might go on by sail, you know.
I get you. My God, it is a great story, Peter.
Well, I suppose
and a great history.
It is a story that would need to be held on to.
And that's for sure. It's priceless.
If you lose it, you know.
Okay, that's great, PJ.
But you see, the canal, when I was young, and the canal was nice and clean, and the boats were going up and down, and you had all the locks. I mean, you start in Limerick, we say you had Thrice Lock, and then you come on up to a big lock. That was Plessy Lock. It's called Plessy Lock now, but the proper name for that is Big.
Right.
And on the other side, where Plessy is, that's the wrong name for that place too. How that got the name Plessy was, what was he? Oh, I can't think of his name now, but he served with the British in the Indian, over in India, and he was serving in a place called Plessy.
Really?
And then when he came home and he got that big strip of land there and built his big mansion, he called it Plessy.
I get you.
That's how it got the name Plessy.
Right.
But when I was a young fella going out fishing in the old canal, there was nothing in only small little perch, you know.
Yeah.
There was no pike or anything in it. It was because the boats went up without propellers, the steamboats would have them frightened out of it anyhow.
Yeah.
But and there wasn't no weeds in it, so if you had no weeds, you'd have no fish.
And tell me, PJ.
But then what happened was, when the boat stopped, the weeds began to grow.
I get you.
And
I
when
get
the
you.
ribbon weeds, the ones you see floating.
Yes. Yeah.
When they came into it, it was crawling with bream.
Jesus.
They came down there spawning, and then it was crawling with pike.
Right.
It was then all the big pike came into it. I remember myself and Dick Brown fishing one Saturday evening, very wild evening. That was the right evening, because they wouldn't see you going along the bank to fish. And we caught 13 pike one Saturday evening.
By God.
But there was none of them very big. The biggest was 16 pounds. You know.
Jesus.
But,
Tell me, PJ, was the canal where the horses walked now at that time, was it used as a walkway for people to go to Limerick, or
no, it
was not?
It was the track bank. It was the, we say...
But it was never used for walkers,
some
or...
people just call it a tow pet, but everybody local used it for walking and for cycling.
All right.
They say people would cycle into town.
Oh yeah, I get you.
remember myself and John going up for a 3 o'clock bus in Clonlara, and we were late, we missed it. And we walked from Clonlara into Clare Street along the bank.
Oh,
Right.
right.
It was a lovely bank.
So it was used by pedestrians.
Oh, it was. Oh, very
Yeah.
much so. And
All right, yeah.
it was gravel that was on it.
By
you
God.
see. But it was lovely because it had to be, because the horses were, that was the track bank, some people called it. More people called it the tow pet, as the horses towing the boats. But between that pet and the canal, there wouldn't be a weed, not a weed, because the rope going down to
I
the
know
boat
it had to be, yeah,
would
yeah.
keep them clean. And anyway,
I get you.
and the Board of Works had men going around keeping the weeds cut. So on the side of it where the track bank was, there was no weeds whatsoever.
By God.
And I remember we say that bank now, we'll say take now at Errina Bridge, and take the bank, what we call Brown's Bank now.
Yeah.
Not Rhine Tighe, that one was always overgrown, but Brown's Bank. I remember that, there was only one bush in it.
Jesus.
But then
Right.
when it was handed over to the people then by the Board of Works, when the boat stopped, when it was handed over, the people neglected it and the bushes grew.
They became overgrown.
Became overgrown.
Well, we cleared, did you see, PJ, and we made a walkway from O'Brien's Bridge to
Yeah.
Clonlara.
Yeah.
And it's been used now again, so that's a good thing at least.
It is a good thing, it is.
Yeah.
But did you surface it recently?
We surfaced it with stone, yeah.
Yeah.
And we came across the old gravel that was there
Yeah.
since the time of the horses.
You would, yeah. So definitely came out.
So it's a great old history to it. And that's your wife.